on your mind. And hey, we'll even talk about general stupidity and jackassery from the American right.
You stupid jackass!
So join me every Saturday evening, 6 to 9 p.m. Central at my Ustream home, Mike Check Radio. Come on in, it'll be loads of fun.
Gee, I sure hope there's a happy ending. I love a happy ending.
Live on all the interwebs and internets, it's Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
Fuck yeah!
Oh no! Uh-oh! Wait, I hear noise.
Yeah, it's probably working now.
Okay, we're having some technical difficulties. I apologize. My camera's not working, so if you'll excuse me for 1 second, just unplug that. This is Mike Check Radio, and I am live with my special guest co-host Rob Poole. We go way back, and I figured, why not? Let's bring someone else in. Did you hear the music during? After I told you I was hooking up your
yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure because basically I use a series of audio repeaters, and so if you don't get the music, and like I said, in case you didn't hear me because I couldn't hear you, we do. I do it in 30-minute segments, and there's a break. Do whatever you need to do during that. And let me try my camera again. Let me see here. Because I should have... There we go. Okay, so we do have visual. I just need to get that up and running. Anywho, this is Mike Check Radio. Wes Kerskaden will be with us at the... sometime within the second hour. Before we begin, first, Nicole Bell of Crooks and Liars was originally going to be with us, and unfortunately... There we go. Unfortunately, she is unable to make it, and naturally, we wish her well. So, please don't hold that against her. It was an emergency. Rob, why don't you introduce yourself to my audience real quick? I mean, I know you're not, you're not quite the political nerd I am, but you follow it, and we share views for the most part. So why don't you introduce yourself to my audience, however you like.
I haunt Reddit. That's pretty much all I do. Okay. There's really not that much more of that.
But now I have one question. You live in Baltimore. Why aren't you at Otakon this weekend?
I've been to Otakon a couple times. Honestly, considering I am kind of outgrew it. Basically, one of the main perks to going to Otakon is to seeing, new shows. Of course, now that the internet is, you can basically see every new anime episode that comes out as fast as it comes out in Japan. As soon as the fan subbers, get the subs out. So there's really not that much of a point to going to Otakon, provided that's your main interest in going. Obviously, if you're looking to burn money in the dealer's room, that's a different story. Yeah. And I have the Perfect Grade Gundam wing model to show for it.
I couldn't do stuff like that, but and another thing that's probably taking away from it is that anime companies these days are almost almost all of them are now doing simulcasts. We saw this with Bleach towards the end. We're seeing this with Eureka 7AO. Almost every major series is now being simulcast, and I believe there's like a week delay. It depends on the series and the company, but that's
right. There's not that many of them left now.
But I mean, it's pretty much the only way to combat piracy. Which is why all of a sudden. Sorry.
It is the only way to combat piracy because if you want to call it piracy, I really don't consider it piracy, but most of the major, what's the alternative? You're going to watch the subs, the fan subs now, or wait 2 years for the American companies to release them.
Yeah. Well, and, like I said, I was just curious because I forgot. I was like, wait a minute, Otacon is this week. What's he doing? Yeah. And again, like I said, I know you're not, as hardcore into politics as I am. I was going to try and go easy on you. Unfortunately, and Paul Green is our first viewer in. Hi, Paul. Unfortunately, we have some Glenn Beck and some Rush Limbaugh. We're not going to go into that right away.
Why?
Well, I want to kind of ease you into it. I don't want to hurt you that much. Because if you listen to
hurt my
right
brain.
now, well, right, or you might have
Your face explode!
I have had that happen. I have had people's face explode. So yeah. But before we really get into the main talk, I just want to point out that this week, Ed Schultz, one of the people, I don't know if you know who he is. He's on MSNBC.
Yes, I know he is.
Okay. His wife this week, he announced this week that his wife has ovarian cancer. And that is why he's been on an extended leave of absence. And, excuse me, my impression is he won't be back for a while. And naturally, I'm sure you're with me on this. Our hearts go out to them as they struggle with this horrible disease. Because,
Naturally.
I mean, I believe he said that the operation was successful. I mean, I'm not a huge Ed Schultz fan. He is one of my inspirations, but I don't watch his show religiously. I don't, and I don't have access to his radio show. So, I listen to him when I can, but it's not at the top of my list like Stephanie Miller is. So again, hopefully Wendy Schultz will pull through. It sounded like the prognosis was good, but we'll probably hear from that in the near future. And of course, this week we lost a legend. I know for a fact you grew up with Sally Ride, and I grew up with Sally Ride, being a big name in science. And of course, we lost her to pancreatic cancer this week. And of course, true to form, the right wingers have stuff to say about that. We'll cover that. And my apologies. I really need to have my show prep ready. We're not going to talk about Mitt Romney's world tour. I figure that if we wait until next weekend, we'll be able to
just wait until he gets to Jerusalem. That's what I'm waiting for. That's when he's going to crash and burn.
Oh yes. Actually, my understanding is he inked an agreement with the Israeli government that said he could do an event at the Wailing Wall. And I'd have to double check this. I read the article. It just came out before I went on the air, so I don't have it in my show prep packet. But basically, he signed an agreement saying that he could do this event, but it had to be open to the public and the press. And of course, the douchebag is reneging on that deal, and of course we'll have that. But I just figure that it's been a really, really crappy week. The man's insulted the British. He's going to insult the Israelis. It's pretty much a given. But there is one important thing, and that is if you didn't see the opening ceremonies last night, Mary Poppins did beat Voldemort. Therefore, she is in fact supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And yes, I have been practicing that to make sure I got that right. So,
how much practice though? But can you spell it?
Actually, I can spell it. I have been typing it out for the past, I've been working on that joke with my, running, because I always run my material past my friends. I know you see me frequently reference him on Facebook, but I mean, you don't know Kenny Pick. He's pretty much my go-to guy. Him, obviously, Wes, and a select few. I'll run my attempts at comedy, and actually, we are working on something big. This show's first recorded comedy bit. I'm very enthusiastic. So far, everyone who's read the script likes it. I'm not going to spoil it, but it is related to one of the stories we're going to run with today. Let's see what else. And again, we're going to talk about these more in detail. I'm just going over the brief. The Muppets have finally told Chick-fil-A, "Pluck you, mother pluckers." The Jim Henson Company has severed their relationship with the company, and I believe that we need to give them a hand. So, what? Uh-oh.
I asked you not.
Why is my applause not working? I think we're being sabotaged, Rob. But we do have something. So
There you go.
Thank you, Jim Henson Company. It's Jim Henson's daughter that is running it now, and Jim Henson passed, I believe, in 1990. And obviously, you raised your daughter up right, Jim. Thank you. So credit where credit is due. We're also going to talk about Michelle Bachmann's, or as I call her, Bachman, her latest witch hunt against the wife of former Congressman Anthony Weiner. Please, no penis jokes. These right-wingers just can't let go of their crazy crackpot conspiracy theories, and it's just gotten so bad that you have, right-wingers. I mean, John McCain may have been a centrist once, but he went far right to try and win the presidency. And then you've got people like Wisconsin Representative Jim Sensenbrenner, who are coming to this defense, to Huma Abedin's defense, and basically saying, this bitch is crazy. So we'll talk about that. Well, I of course that's obvious, but when you have a far right-wing person like Jim Sensenbrenner, who pretty much toes the Conservative Party line, the conservative line on every issue, you have major problems. Michelle Bachmann has major problems, let's put it that way. And my show prep is not on my tablet. There we go. We'll also be talking about we have a new, Rob, I don't know if I told you, we have a segment every week. It's called Asshole of the Week, and we profile a right-wing asshole, and believe me, it is extremely hard to select just one.
I imagine.
That's like, selecting the best chocolate, or, it's extremely hard. And we did not settle on an asshole of the week until about 3 o'clock this morning. Because, again, I was like, what do you think, Wes? I can't decide. But we do have an asshole of the week. And we have big news from Turn Up Night. Again, as I said earlier, Kenny Pick. Obviously, if you're listening to this right now, Paul and guest, you know what the big news is, but we're still going to cover it. It's big, and like picking the best Star Wars movie. I believe that's pretty easy, actually, and that's Empire Strikes Back. I don't know about you, Rob, but I'm an Empire guy. I think that's the best. Paul Green 100 in the chat room, one of our regular listeners, says picking the asshole of the week is like picking the best Star Wars movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
But let's get underway. Rob, since you weren't here last week, I mean, I know for a fact you heard the news about Aurora Carlisle. Why don't you share us any of your personal thoughts regarding the tragedy?
About Aurora?
Aurora. If I put you on the
point,
spot, just feel free to punt.
Yeah, pretty much at this point, it's absolutely scary that the way that it's unfolded, the aftermath. Pretty much there's an article in The Onion about Aurora, and basically how the media would take it apart. And it has pretty much taken it apart over the last week or so. And it's pretty much gone straight down the line where The Onion predicted it. Basically what's going to happen is there's going to be grumbling about gun control, and there'll eventually be a big memorial service, and then we'll forget about it and nothing will change.
Yeah. Well, and
then, sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. Keep going.
Basically, what's going to happen is a couple months down the line, we're going to have another incident just like this, and we're going to be like, oh, well, what the hell? What happened? How could we have stopped this? And it's going to be the same thing, just like when Gabby Gifford got shot, when Columbine got the whole mess with Columbine, West Virginia, Virginia University. I mean, these things keep happening. I mean, I understand that, banning guns, that's not going to do anything. And tougher gun regulation won't 100% solve the problem, but it can't hurt. I mean, there's also the Fast and Furious mess, too. That also plays into it, also. I mean, Arizona has very flimsy gun laws. There's not much more I can really say on the subject. How easy, how hard, I don't know.
Well, and we've covered Fast and Furious on this program before, and it's pretty much a load of horse hockey, or as the FCC the FCC compliant version of BS, bullshit hockey. Of course, as I said, I don't care. Bullshit. It's bullshit. This Fast and Furious is Daryl Issa wanting a scout from the Obama administration. It's already been debunked. Read the Fortune article. I have a friend on Facebook. I know you see him every now and then trying to call me out, failing horribly. Armin, who swears up and down, "Oh no, this is legit scandal." I was like, "No, it's not." And one of his ways of trying to debunk this Fortune 500 Fortune article was to say, well, she said she was available for interviews and she hasn't accepted any. That is not true. She probably isn't opening herself up to be interviewed by right-wing idiots who are going to twist every word she says into trying to say, oh, see, she has a liberal agenda. She was on with Nicole Sandler a couple weeks ago, who has also been on this program. Thank you, Nicole Sandler. So their first instinct whenever something like this happens is, first of all, obfuscate. Oh, it wasn't the guns. And we have an interesting clip by, I'm assuming Ted Nugent.
Of course.
He's
Crazy Uncle Ted.
Yeah, he's one of our favorites here. We love bashing on Crazy Uncle Ted. But, there we go. Here is Crazy Uncle Ted, or actually, you might like Kenny Pick's nickname, which is Turd Nugget. Here is the man who shit his pants to get out of Vietnam, Ted Nugent, on Glenn Beck's program. Take a listen.
This is lunacy. And remember, Glenn, this monster in Aurora took 20 minutes to do his evil. In 20 minutes, you don't need an assault weapon, you don't need a machine gun, which he didn't have either of, but you could do more damage with a single shot or a bolt action because he had 20 minutes.
Here's the thing.
Sorry, I got the clip from Medium Airs. But first of all, Turd, you got it wrong. He was arrested after 20 minutes. He was in and out of that theater. Well, first of all, the police responded in under 2 minutes. He was out of that theater in less than a minute and a half. Second of all, are you going to honestly claim a single-shot rifle could have caused more damage, where he's having to pause and reload after every shot, or a bolt action where he has to, fiddle with the bolt? These people, it's like this. They're clinging to this. And look, I'm not a gun person. I have no intentions of owning guns. I'm not big on the idea of handling guns. I have conservative friends who keep saying, one day I'm going to take you out shooting. And apparently they think that that's going to magically make me into a gun-loving, Bible-humping, God-fearing conservative. And it's like, better people than you have tried, son. But something has to give. And again, their first instinct always seems to be, it's not our fault. Don't take our guns away. Well, the fact of the matter is, the NRA has to shoulder the blame for some of this, because they refuse to go with any common sense gun control. They were even against trigger locks and gun safes. And that, how much more common sense do you get from there? Any thoughts on that, Rob?
Yeah, especially, it's kind of crazy. We have to start somewhere. I mean, there's also the fact that the guy used a semi-automatic rifle. That, what are you going to use a semi-automatic rifle for? With hunting. I mean, from everything I've read, pretty much it would be a terrible thing to use for hunting. What's the point of having it? What's the point of having it being legal? I mean, you're not going to
the home defense is bupkis too, because if you ask me, from what I understand of guns, I think a shotgun would actually be better, because first of all, if you're in your home, you're in close quarters. A wall is more like, a shotgun blast, buckshot, shot is less likely to go through a wall, therefore you're reducing damage. It's a good up-close weapon, so if the guy's coming for you, one shot and he's not getting back up. You don't need an assault rifle. You don't need an automatic pistol. I mean, I have no problems with, handguns that are semi-autos, your standard police weapons. But we're talking about military hardware, and if you go by conservative logic, which is Second Amendment says we have the right to bear arms. Okay.
Well, that's an interesting argument to make too, because if you actually read the actual statement in the Constitution, it specifically says militias.
Right. It specifically refers to a well-regulated militia. And I'm sorry, Billy Bob Joe Bob down in the swamp doesn't qualify. But here's the thing. I had a friend, not Rob Poole, that's you, Brad Richards on Facebook. And he's an okay guy. We disagree 90% of the time, but he's okay. Although, if you ask me, he's jumped the shark. But he was playing rules lawyer, and he was saying that when the Constitution was signed, the well-regulated militia was anyone of legal age, an adult. And I say, okay, then if you're going to do that, then we don't have, we can't stop you from buying a gun. But there's nothing that says in the Constitution that says we can't buy you ammunition. It says you have the right to keep and bear arms. There's nothing about ammunition in there. They don't understand that when they're playing these rules lawyer, bullshit games, they're pretty much hurting their own cause.
Yeah, definitely.
And before we go to break, because we are coming up on the break, sorry about the technical difficulties at the start, Rob, but it seems like we're doing okay. I think we're doing okay. Let's hear this from Governor John Hickenlooper of Colorado.
Interesting name.
Yes. I actually used to live in Colorado. And here is John Hickenlooper talking about his stance on new gun control.
Does it make you think at this point that you need to take another look at Colorado's gun laws?
I'm sure that's going to happen, but I look at this as this wasn't a Colorado problem, this is a human problem, right? And how we can have such a warped individual and no one around them be aware. I worry that if we got rid of all the guns, and certainly we have so many guns in this country, and we do have a lot more gun violence in many other countries, but even if he didn't have access to guns, this guy was diabolical, right? He would have found explosives, he would have found something else, some sort of...
and this is a Democrat. We got to make that clear. This is a Democratic governor, and he's saying new gun control laws aren't going to change anything. Governor Hickenlooper, that is a weird name, isn't it? I'm sorry, but I don't quite understand where you're coming from, because the fact matter is the gun he used, the AR-15, I believe, was banned under the assault weapons ban that Bill Clinton passed, that expired under surprise, the Bush administration. And the fact of the matter is that I think he would have killed a lot less people with a pistol and a rifle than with a pistol, rifle, and semi-automatic. That, and he used the semi-auto until it jammed, and then that apparently is when he left. Anyway, we're at the top of the break. Again, Rob, just a reminder, do you know how to mute your mic?
Yes.
Okay. Like I said, you'll hear music. We've got 3 promos lined up, and it'll be about 7 minutes. So I've got 6 minutes 45 seconds for this coming break. So I'm just telling you, you'll get a feel for it. It doesn't take long. But anyway, we will be back. This is Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert, special guest co-host Rob Poole. Nicole Bell had to cancel. And Wes Karskadin should be here sometime within the next hour. We'll see you after the break.
God, it's like my brain's that tree and you're those little cookie elves.
Smarter than Savage and sexier than Limbaugh. This is Adam Hebert on Mike Check Radio.
This is Jackson Brown, and you're listening to The Nicole Sandler Show.
This is Melissa Etheridge, and you're listening to my friend, Nicole Sandler.
Hey, this is Rob with Matchbox 20.
Hey, this is Chris Isaac.
Hi, this is Suzanne Vega.
Hey, this is Trey Anastasio, and you're listening to
My friend Nicole Sandler.
Bare Naked Ladies, you're listening to Nicole Sandler.
What's up? This is Howie Day, and you're listening to Nicole Sandler.
Hey, this is Henry.
And I'm JoJo. And I'm Ringo. And we're Los Lonely Boys, and you're listening to Nicole Sandler. This is Kelly from Stereophonics, and you're listening to Nicole Sandler.
This is Evan Dando of the Lemonheads, and you're listening to Nicole Sandler.
Hi, my name's Jonathan Brooke, and you're listening to Nicole Sandler.
This is Pat Monahan from the band Train, and you're listening to Nicole Sandler.
This is Ziggy Marley, and you're listening to Nicole Sandler.
Hey, this is Pete Yorn, and you're listening to Nicole Sandler.
The lovely Nicole Sandler.
Nicole Sandler. Nicole's awesome.
The Nicole Sandler Show at RadioOrNot.com. Music to my ears.
This is a castle, and we have many tapestries. And if you are
Adam Hebert on Mike Check Radio.
then I am Mickey Mouse.
And we are back. Before we get back to talking about Aurora, I just want to point out that the Alien Adoptables charity is still going on. Rob, just so you know, this is something I've been promoting heavily. This weekend is Tenor's live stream weekend. She will basically draw you anything, the only exceptions being child porn and bestiality for obvious reasons. And,
Gotta watch out for fur fags.
Pardon?
So you gotta watch out for fur fags.
Yeah. Darn it. She will draw, it's $1 for sketches, $2 for line art, for clean line art, and $3 for flat colors. I will share some samples I already have, but I will do that later, once Wes gets here. We were talking mostly about Aurora last segment. And again, Rob Poole, my special co-host for the evening. Thank you very much for joining me. I really do appreciate it.
I'm glad to be here.
Is there a big delay for you? Just out of curiosity?
No.
Okay, just want to make sure, because that would mean something is wrong with my setup. And I don't want that. No, I mean, in all seriousness, I really do appreciate it. Because usually I am basically here alone until Wes gets here. And, you know, unfortunately his work tends to keep him late. So anyway, we were talking about Aurora, and I pointed out after we listened to, after we listened to Ted Nugent, right-wingers just seem to live in, it's almost like a separate world where up is down, black is white, right is left. It's like opposite day for them forever.
It's like Bill Maher has this reoccurring thing on his show, Real Time with Bill Maher. What was it? Telegraphs from the Bubble? Messages from the Bubble?
I don't really watch it.
There's the idea that Republicans live in this bubble, and no matter what kind of facts or information you throw at the bubble, it doesn't get in.
Yeah, well, and again, we see this time and time again. Here is Senator John McCain, and John McCain famously ran against our President Obama and lost in 2008. And let me get the clip. I need to find a way to organize my box. Please tell me I have this clip or I'm in trouble. 1 second. I guess I don't have the clip. I apologize. Damn it. You said you wanted to go to, you said you wanted to deal with Rush Limbaugh. We're going to do it. Rush Limbaugh. Well, I try to find the McCain clip. Rush Limbaugh had some things to say about Aurora. Obviously, because the man can't keep his mouth shut. He accused our president of being an egotist. Here, this is. I've got 4 cuts from this, but here's the first part. Take a listen.
Now I want to get to my main comment before Sterling gets more nervous. It's interesting that there's something inherently wrong with liberals, including Obama, where they have to emotionally inject themselves into tragedies like this. And I'm referring to Obama's comments, which I heard him make twice since Friday, about his daughters, Sasha and Malia, going to the movies, when everyone knows that if Sasha and Malia went to the movies, they would be protected by the Secret Service. And yet he has to inject himself.
What's wrong with liberals, whoever that jackass is, what's wrong with us liberals is we have empathy.
Right, we can feel for the victims. If anything, the problem that we have is that we wait until these kind of tragedies occur before we do anything.
Right, we are basically treating the symptoms, not the disease. More or less.
Right.
And
I mean, we had a golden opportunity after Gabby Giffords got shot. What did we do? Nothing.
Okay, I got my applause back. I'm sorry. that was inappropriate. I apologize. Well,
actually, it was kind of appropriate, but.
The fact matter, yeah, you're right. That was a golden opportunity, and we wasted it because it was, it's like when, remember how the right wing freaked out when DHS, Department of Homeland Security, released that document saying we got to be careful. Right wing terrorists are going crazy because Barack Obama's the president, and of course they howled, "How dare you! You can't say that about us."
Yeah, that's also
that's my applause. That's the same one. Sorry.
There was a different report about Christian extremists also.
Yeah. And of course, when you call them out, you hear that, because I've pointed this out before, Rob, conservatives seem to be unable to operate unless they're the victims. All of their arguments rely on them being the victims. Oh, you're going to take my guns. Oh, you're insulting my religion. You're offending my rights. It's honestly ridiculous. And the fact of the matter is, we do have a problem with terrorism in this country, and it comes almost exclusively from the right wing. Now, I'm not going to say there's no such thing as a left-wing terrorist. Ted Kaczynski was a left-winger. He was an environmentalist, and I'm not going to make excuses for him. People died because of that man, and guess what? We found him, we tried him, we threw his ass in jail, and he's never going to see daylight again. Compare that to, Osama bin Laden, who Bush basically let get away at Tora Bora. And, I'm not a 9/11 truther, but the fact of the matter is that the bin Ladens and the Bush, the two families, have connections going back decades. And Papa Bush, George H.W. Bush, was with Osama bin Laden's brother, I believe, as 9/11 happened. Now, I'm not saying that means they had advanced knowledge. I'm saying that maybe the bin Ladens called in a favor and said, look, our son is a lunatic. We're going to take care of this. Just let him go. And because how else, was bin Laden getting all this money to bribe people at the border? But, I'm just saying that they talk up, they always have to be the victims. They talk up a great game of law and order, but it's always the liberals who, Bill Clinton caught Timothy. How long did it take to catch Timothy McVeigh? 2 days? Not even that? That wasn't a Republican administration. That was Bill Clinton. That was Bill Clinton.
Super liberal Bill Clinton.
Who was accused unjustly of being a draft dodger, a peacenik. Refresh my memory. Timothy McVeigh, dead or alive? Dead. So, don't talk to me about, you Republicans don't talk to me about you being the law and order candidates, because you're the people who refuse to even try to meet us halfway. You have to, they have to have, again, any restriction on their ability to buy whatever they want constitutes an infringement of their rights. Where were they when Bush was infringing on our freedom of speech by shoving us into, what were they called, Rob? Free speech zones, I believe?
Wow. They actually called them that?
Yeah. I believe
Wow.
they did.
That's...
They were basically shoving people into these cages a mile away from where the president was speaking, and that's how they were able to maintain this illusion that Bush was popular when he was actually pretty much the most unpopular president in U.S. history since Hoover.
Damn, that has to hurt. Yeah, he's so popular now, isn't he? The Republicans can't wait to ignore him completely in this campaign. That's actually a kind of interesting thing, too. I mean, you have a president that sits for 8 years, and you totally go out of your way to ignore his existence. Interesting. Isn't it?
Well, we talked about Bush last week, actually. Let me see if I still have that clip, because he was and it's actually a pretty good clip. It looks like I don't have it, but he was basically saying, he was reflecting on his presidency, and he said his 8 years in office were, and I quote, awesome. And of course, I lost it. You can, if you log into the chat room, Rob, you can ask my viewers. I just lost it. It was like, what about the million Iraqi civilians you butchered, George? I was just, I was pissed.
Right.
But, I think a lot of it is, it's not just this, like I said, it's like President Obama called it during the 2008 election. These right-wingers cling to their guns and their religion, and they live in just the state of, I don't know what else to say other than it's insanity. It's, I'm not saying all we're, well, actually, I'm getting to the point where I'm about ready to say it. Conservatism is a mental disease. They certainly act like it. They act like something's wrong with them. Where I come from, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, and looks like a duck, you call it a duck. But here's what Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson, for some reason I typoed on the clip, but that's okay, I recognize it. Here he is talking about guns. It's a little longer. Oh, wait, no, we were doing Limbaugh. I'm sorry, Rob. We did, okay, so... what? I'm sorry, I'm just disorganized. Here's the second part of... We got off track is what happened. Here's the second part of this conversation with Limbaugh. It's a short...
Yeah, remember now, I'm out playing golf on Friday, intermittent rain and so forth, and I'm really...
well, first, now I remember where I could put that. That's not rain rush. That's sweat because you're so fat you can't move without straightening yourself. But anyway, here's where it starts to get interesting.
Email, and I get a note from a guy who says, do you wouldn't believe it? Why does Obama do this? He had to say, my daughters go to the movies. What if they had been in that theater? And I looked at that and I said, did he really say that? He really said, if I had a son, he would look just like Trayvon Martin. My two daughters go to the movies. What if they had been... as though, what are we to conclude? That his two daughters are more important than people that were in that theater? What, that's not what he meant?
No, Rush, that's not what he meant. Normal people can understand that because we have empathy.
And we go to theaters, too.
Yeah, well, he probably has his own. And it has to be multiplex because there's no way he's going to fit inside a single, But here's the final part. This is basically the icing on the cake, where he finally just comes and says, he throws, you'll hear.
If his daughters weren't there, then what he had a different reaction? If Trayvon Martin had been black, would he have had a different reaction to his son that he didn't have, looking like Trayvon Martin? When I read that note, I thought, well, this is very typical. This is an egomaniac who really thinks that the people of this country think he is more important than any other human being alive in this country.
Now,
way to miss the point.
Here's the thing. This Rush Limbaugh is accusing President Obama of egotism. Now, let's look at Rush Limbaugh. He acts like he's the center of like the world rolls around him. He's got a fucking gold microphone. He acts like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But Barack Obama is egotistical.
Wrong.
Yeah, it's classic projection. It's him accusing President Obama of being what he is. And of course, he did say something that I actually agree with. This is going to shock you. I do agree with this.
And I don't have kids.
Well, that's not an agreement. And I'm sure everyone thanks God every day, Rush, that you haven't reproduced.
Those poor kids. Some people just should not have children, and luckily Rush is one of them.
Yeah. So, yes, thank God, thank goodness for small favors. But anyway, finally, Senator Ron Johnson talking about the gun issue. Again, these people just live in complete denial of the root of the problem. Take a listen.
First of all, criminals will always be able to get whatever they want. I mean, for example, the left always uses the term assault rifles, and they're really talking about semi-automatic weapons that really are used in hunting. And that's what happens in Wisconsin. These are, rifles that people use in hunting. And just the fact of the matter is that this really is not an issue of guns. Again, we're talking about sick people doing things that you simply can't prevent. It's really an issue of freedom. And I swore an oath to defend the Constitution. And part of that Constitution is the Second Amendment, which guarantees the right to bear arms, and these types of laws infringe upon that right, and I don't agree with it.
And let me ask you, we're not talking about handguns. Does something that...
That's enough from this jackass. His right to bear arms, ladies and gentlemen, is more important than your right to live. The right to life that Republicans swear up and down all fetuses, all blastocists enjoy. Whoever said...
Yeah, but wait. But once the baby comes out, you're on your own.
Well, it's like what Randy Rhoads says, which is... And I'm going to try and do my best Randy Rhoads impression. I'm not good at these, but... Love the fetus, hate the child 17 after. It is true, and I don't know who said the right to life ends at birth, begins at conception, ends at birth, but they're right, according to the right winger. Your right to life doesn't matter. If your right to life gets in the way of their right to bear arms, you are screwed. And we're going to talk. This goes into gun control, goes into the Zimmerman case, into the Trayvon Martin case. The fact of the matter is that these people have no empathy, no souls, I would say. And why am I getting the same? No. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. The fact of the matter is, there is something wrong with these people. And I don't get it. Maybe there's something wrong. Excuse me. Maybe the problem is with me. Any thoughts?
Maybe the problem is with us, because these poor bastards still have their jobs. Especially, politically. We let these guys get away with murder, almost.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, the NRA has to accept they are partially responsible for this by virtue of the fact that they will fight any any gun regulation. They will not allow any gun, like the gun show loophole. That's a common sense thing to do. You should not be able to walk into a gun show and not be able to walk, and walk out with a gun unless you've had a background check. I'm sorry. But again, their right to bear arms supersedes our right to live. Unless you're a fetus, in which case, mommy can't have an abortion.
Yep. And then once the baby comes out, once the fetus is a baby, you're on your own.
Yep. That's pretty much it. And and again, it's a complete lack of empathy, and this is why I'm really beginning to think conservatism is a form of mental disease. There's just something wrong with these people. They don't have that part of their brain, that part of their brain that helps them to feel for people. It's not working for some reason. It
doesn't work the way it should work. They empathize with the wrong people. They empathize with the people that have the same, worldview as they do.
Well, yeah,
they can relate. They can relate to Rush Limbaugh, but they can't relate to the rest of us.
Well, they can relate to Rush Limbaugh because he's an idiot. Remember, Rush Limbaugh did not graduate from college. He, as far as I know, he only graduated from high school. He tried and failed to get through college, and then he putzed around on unemployment. And was so fucking lazy. And this is all in Al Franken's book. Rush Limbaugh is a big fat idiot. I know it's a little old, but I highly recommend it. But Rush Limbaugh wouldn't even get off his fat ass, to mow his own lawn. So, yeah, I doubt at this point. He probably can't even get through the door to his studio anymore. He probably has to. Well, you know what? I think before we go to break, we need some comedy, and since I know you haven't listened before, I can do this. My friend Kenny Pick. I guess I'll have to acquire it. My friend Kenny Pick recently, he does comedy for his show, and I can just log into Gmail. He produced Did you hear about the conspiracy theory from Rush Limbaugh that Bane was named because it was basically meant to damage Mitt Romney? Did you hear that conspiracy theory?
Yeah, I think I heard something about that. It's rather crazy.
Oh yes, it's definitely crazy. Well, Kenny, being a comedy, he is actually a very gifted when it comes to comedy. Came up with this comedy bit, and this is going to be our palate cleanser, I guess. Because we're going to have to go to break right after this. But, wait, maybe it's in here. Oh, I guess it's not. Oh, okay, I guess I'll just real quickly drop it. And, this is Kenny Pick's first episode of Fat Man and Snerdly.
We now return to Fat Man and Snerdly. We last left our dynamic dittos at stately Limbaugh Manor.
Snerdly, as Consuela picked up my medications. I better call the ACLU. Holy hotline is right, Snerdly. It's Commissioner Joseph Farah of WorldNet Daily on the red line. Hello, Commissioner. This is Fat Man. Yes, I see, Commissioner. Snerdly and I are on the case. The Commissioner needs us to look into this insidious liberal conspiracy smear against Mitt Romney and Bain Capital. I hope you greased up the fat pulse, my friend. To the Fat Cave. Oh, Snerdly, my anal cyst. It looks like we're going to have to sit out this fight, my friend. Yes, just like Vietnam.
Don't miss next week's episode. Same fat time, same fat channel.
So yeah, I had to, since we got into that, I had to share that. But yeah, that's unfortunately it didn't get played because he basically came up with this the night before Aurora, the night of Aurora, before it happened, and
yeah. That's gonna suck, He comes up with this conspiracy theory. He's gonna think he's gonna get a lot of publicity for it, and then Aurora happens, and he's utterly forgotten. But as a comic book fan, it's kind of crazy to accuse DC of coming up with this character that's existed for about 10, 15 years.
And by that you mean
right
Bane,
before
because Batman's substantially older.
Right.
Just for the benefit of my audience, we're talking about Bane.
Right, Bane's been around for a while.
I believe his first off comic appearance was in the Batman animated series, where Batman was voiced by Kevin Conroy, and of course Joker was voiced by Mark Hamill, and I this gives me an excuse. So again, and that's appropriate because Rush Limbaugh is a bad joke, and the joke's on him. Anyway, we are going to go to break. This break is a remix of the Prelude Final Fantasy VII version called Crystal Sermon. And hopefully Wes will be with us sometime within this hour. Anyway, we will catch you after the break. Let me get this.
You're listening to Adam Hebert.
A man with breathtaking anger management issues.
You're listening to Adam Hebert.
A man with breathtaking anger management issues.
On Mike Check Radio. some of the hijinks you can expect from my show. We just got done listening to several clips about the Romney fundraisers over the weekend, and I invented the murder finger. It's an offspring of the murder fist. It just happens to be the murder fist with the middle finger extended.
Well, I'm ahead of you because I've had a hate finger for many years.
Hate finger.
Hate finger. The man with the malcontent's touch. Yeah.
Turn up the night with Kenny Pick, streaming live every Tuesday and Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern at Radio or Not, Talk Radio 1, Progressive Blend Radio, and KennyPick.com.
You never know who or what you'll hear when you listen to the Nicole Sandler Show at RadioOrNot.com.
Greg Palast, I realized as we were talking that actually we were supposed to do this on Wednesday, so thank you so much for bearing with me.
Well, I am thrilled that we were doing that. You jumped with the other characters. Because, Nicole, I just think that your show is brilliant, and I want to thank you because my stuff may be prime time in Britain, but here I keep slamming into the electronic Berlin Wall, and you have snuck me across and into the information stream. And I hope that your listeners are aware of how important and precious your program is. So I want to thank you.
The Nicole Sandler Show, live Monday through Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, or podcast anytime at RadioOrNot.com.
What the hell? Are you stuck at home on a Saturday night with nothing to do again?
Can't take it anymore.
Then join me, my co-hosts, and my guests every Saturday evening for Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert. Okay. Together we'll discuss the big news of the week from entertainment and politics, talk about the issues that are on your mind, and hey, we'll even talk about general stupidity and jackassery from the American right.
You stupid jackass!
So join me every Saturday evening, 6 to 9 p.m. Central at my Ustream home, Mike Check Radio. Come on in, it'll be loads of fun.
Gee, I sure hope there's a happy ending. I love a happy ending.
And now, live on your computer machine, it's Adam Hebert with Mike Check Radio.
Fuck yeah! Mike Check Radio.
You do always come back!
This is Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
And we are back. Just let me let the dog out. And we are back from break. Just a reminder, as I said earlier at the bottom of the last hour, Alien Adoptables, it is Tender's live stream weekend. She will draw anything excluding bestiality and child porn. $1 sketches, $2 for line art, which basically means clean line art and inked. And $3 for the flat colors. It's a good deal. I say get it, and just to show you, I'll give you guys a quick sample. Here's one of the pictures. So that's one of the pictures I got last year, and I haven't decided what I'm going to get this year, but I do have some money saved up. I won one of the auctions, and I basically threw the towel on one of them because I was just like, I like it, but anyway, so I hope you all will consider it. Just a reminder, we will be doing a raffle for our listeners. So basically, if you get a picture from Tender, Nikki, anyone who's doing an open event, which means you don't have to be a member of Alien Adoptables to participate. If you tell them, I'm from Radio or Not, I'm from Turn Up the Night, I'm from Mike Check Radio, you will be entered into a raffle to win as the grand prize a signed copy of the Stephanie Miller Sexy Liberal Comedy Tour. And the funny thing is that tonight, Rob, I don't know if you listen to Stephanie Miller at all, but tonight is the night of her big show in Los Angeles, which is where she broadcasts from. And I've seen it live, and it is hysterical. So if you get a chance, Rob, I highly recommend you go. Hal Sparks, Stephanie Miller, and John Fugelsang are all hysterical, and I am going to try and get them on this program. I doubt it will happen because I'm a nobody, but and then of course there is the August almost ended the call. Sorry about that, Rob. August 18th in Columbus, and that's related to the news we have about Kenny, but I'm waiting on Wes to get here to talk about that. Where is... moving along, as soon as I get to my... we played that clip from Ted Nugent, and I want to illustrate exactly why I find this man so horrible. Here are a pair of his tweets regarding Aurora. We pray for all victims and loved ones of Demon Shooter in Colorado, which is okay. But this is where it gets ugly. And we salute, in caps, of course, the brave warriors who saved lives. If only they would have had a good gun. And I mean, that's just disgusting. There were people who threw themselves in front of their girlfriends to save their lives, and to use that to push your pro-gun agenda, you're a horrible human being, Ted. And I mean, we already knew that, considering you fucked a kid and you got her parents to sign papers to make her your adopted daughter, so it was all nice and legal. And here's another one. There were no assault weapons used, only universally proven sporting and defense firearms. And he says 6,000 rounds. Yes. My apologies. My father knows I take this seriously, and he just makes an ass of himself. 6,000 rounds is a lot. And
of course he got it all online too.
And of course the dog had to sneak in. Well, and again, I mean, look, I have no problem with Ted Nugent wanting to hunt. That's not my problem. My problem is the man's an asshole! He was actually our asshole of the week a couple weeks ago. And, it's actually kind of pathetic. So, darn it, I'm way behind. Because I've got my... No, that's not it. Sorry about that. Fred Phelps, Westboro Baptist Church, said they're going to picket the funeral, saying, "Hi-ho, to Colorado we go." And of course they have to use their cute little hashtags. God sent the shooter, America's doomed, God is your enemy, God killing your soldiers. To the Phelps, you bunch of inbred motherfuckers, get bent. And that's all I can say. You are horrible human beings.
And then I'd also like to add on to that, if you get a chance to, I'd have to look it up, but, well, it's not much of a surprise that being one of Fred Phelps' kids is a terrible ordeal in and of itself. If you get a chance to, Reddit has this, does this thing where it's called IMA, where people come on and they do like chat sessions, and basically where they they talk about their lives. Some of them are really interesting. Some of them are normal people. Like I remember one that I read that was about a guy that used to work at Chuck E. Cheese, and about all the hijinks that he would have working at a Chuck E. Cheese as a teenager in the 90s. But there's a great IMA on Reddit about one of Fred Phelps' kids. I forget his name. It's a really interesting read if you get a chance to look at it. Yeah, he did not have a happy childhood.
I'm not surprised. One of these days, I'm going to get the audio of Shirley Phelps Roper talking to George Takei. I mean, this woman, I guess, I don't know if she married into the family or no. If Phelps is the first last name. She's his child by birth, most likely. I mean, what she said to George Takei was just horrible. George Takei is a nice guy. I mean, I've never met him, so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Everything I've read from him, everything I've heard from him, the guy's a class act. He just wants to be left alone, and this woman was just horrible towards him. But let's listen to what the conservative Christians have to say about this horrible tragedy. And of course, they got to use it to promote their extremist Christian agenda. Got to force God down them damn atheist throats. Praise Jesus.
In the community, there were community standards that reflected biblical principles. Whether people knew it or not, the standard in the community was based on Scripture. And in that short period of time, roughly 40 years, we have seen such a transformation in values in our communities, whether it's rural or whether it's big city. And I have to think that all of this, whether it's the Hollywood movies, whether what we see on the internet, whether it's liberal bias in the media, whether it's our politicians changing public policy, I think all of those somehow have fit together. And I have to say also churches who are leaving the authority of Scripture and losing their fear of God, all of those things have seemed to have come together to give us these kinds of incidents.
How about the fact they can get guns without background checks, you stupid fascist jackass? I mean, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with these people? You know...
You dumb bastard!
It doesn't... They don't even say, you know, maybe guns are too easy. Oh, no, it's got to be because those evil atheists, Rob, us evil atheists did it again. Damn it.
Yep.
We're just too damn good. And, of course, you know, it's...
How dare we use our tricky-ass logic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm such a bastard. It's disgusting, and I, for one, am sick and tired of these conservatives. Look, you want to be a Christian, that's your business. Religion belongs to the individual. Not, you know, these people don't want to stop it at that. They want to force us to all live by their moral codes, even if we don't believe in Jesus Christ. And I get into this all the time with Armin, because he's one of those people who believes that because Christians are the majority, they should get some sort of privilege. And I say no. The Constitution says clearly, the Constitution says nothing about religion. We are not a Christian country. There is one mention of religion in the U.S. Constitution, barring the Bill of Rights, and that is to say there are no religious tests for any office in this country. And that actually figures into the Huma Abedin story that we'll be covering in a little bit. I'm gonna we're gonna sit on that for a bit and see. Hopefully Wes gets here. I'm about done with this Aurora thing. What I read is just depressing. So let's talk about how the GOP is trying to steal the 2012 election, shall we? You okay with that? Or did you have more thoughts?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
I don't have audio for this, but we have previously played the Mike Turzai audio, where he basically said the Republicans passed voter ID laws in Pennsylvania for the sole purpose of enabling Mitt Romney to win the election. These laws that they are passing are not about the integrity of the vote. They are about preventing liberals, people who would vote for President Obama, from using their constitutional right to cast a ballot. And here is what an interview with Think Progress from what's his name, Wisconsin State Senate Minority Assistant Leader Glenn Grothman and Mr. Keyes Scott Keys of Think Progress asks, if it were upheld and in place in time for November election, do you think polls have shown a pretty razor-thin margin? Do you think it might ultimately help Mitt Romney's campaign here in the state? His response is, yes, right. I think we believe that insofar as there are inappropriate things, people who vote inappropriately are more likely to vote Democrat. First of all, it's Democratic. Say it right or don't say it at all, you stupid jackass. Second of all, how come is it that every time we actually have a case of voter fraud, it's always a Republican doing it? Mitt Romney cast a ballot illegally in Massachusetts for Scott Brown in Massachusetts in the 2010 election. We have that guy in Indiana busted voting illegally. It's always these Republicans, but they always say, gotta protect them from them damn Democrats. It's insanity. And I have a message. Wes is home, so we're gonna bring him in right now. Hello, Wes.
Hey.
Hold on, I got something for this. I sound like Archer, don't I? Here we go. He's home on time, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for co-host Wes Carstadter.
Yeah, I know.
It's
I'm on time. I got nachos, and I'm not drunk yet, but I'm working on it.
And of course, this is actually a Returners reunion. We're some of the old guard from the old Returners group. What's that humming? Is that your phone on vibrate, I guess?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't something on my end. But yes, yeah, so since we're talking about the voter story from Wisconsin that was in the show prep packet, and I was just quoting Grothman, and I mean, we've talked about this before in this program, Wes, you know that.
Oh, yeah.
The Republicans always push these laws that are clearly designed to, they're clearly aimed at Democratic voters. They shift resources from Democratic districts to Republican districts to make sure their voters. I mean, it is blatant.
I remember reading recently that actually one of Mitt Romney's aides actually came out and said point blank that these voter ID laws were going to be the way that Mitt's going to win.
Right, it was a guy from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played that clip. Well, maybe you weren't on that night, Wes. And
it might have been. That might have been where I heard it.
Yeah, that too. But they have admitted it, but the courts won't act. We have one or two small-time courts, like the Wisconsin voter ID laws currently on hold in, I believe, 2 counties. The federal courts won't act. And if they refuse to do their jobs, we are going to be looking at a President Mitt Romney, because these people are desperate. We already know they hate Barack Obama. That's a given.
Well, I mean, they're just going with the precedent that was set in 2000 by the Bush v. Gore with the federal courts. They don't give a shit about fair elections.
Well, we already know that. But the fact that I just, I'm tired of the laws, or of the lies, to be honest. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's obvious to me, it's obvious to anyone, and even the Republicans admit it, but the courts won't say, you can't do that. You cannot pass laws that are meant to disenfranchise people you disagree with.
Yeah, it's a serious problem, and it's a precedent that's getting set that's just disturbing. It's suddenly okay to manipulate elections.
If you can't win it fair and square, let's just steal it outright.
Right, and they know they can't win it fair. Because, look at, Mitt Romney, everything that he can run on is a negative. He can't run on his experience as governor of Massachusetts because he came up with Obamacare back when it was just Romneycare. He can't run on Bain anymore because we've already proven Bain outsourced jobs. We also know that he lied about when he left Bain. So
when all else fails, cheat.
Exactly. And they are desperate. Never underestimate the power of a desperate right-winger. They will do anything. They will slit your throat to keep you from voting. And if you think I'm exaggerating, you are wrong. They will
punch
kill
babies in the face.
Yeah, they hate babies too.
As long as they're outside of the womb. If they're in the womb, they're sacred, goddammit.
Yes. So I want to bring up this Penn State story. I know it's a weird gear shift, but I only had like 3 stories for this segment, and we are coming at the bottom of the hour. And just so you know, this break will be the Green News Report, and starting this broadcast, we will be airing my personal picks of the best of the Howdy Land News Bullet, which is P.S. Mueller from Turn Up the Night with Kenny Pick. You'll hear, some of you might recognize his voice. Well, if you listen to Turn Up the Night, you'll recognize his voice. But we're going to start airing those tonight. I've got 2 lined up. Anyway, some alumni from Penn State and oh my God, this just disgusts me. He compared the punishment Penn State received for covering up Jerry Sandusky's rape of babies to 9/11, saying, quote, "I just can't put my arms around it. It's to me, it was our 9/11 today. I just saw planes crashing into towers." Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, see, that's the thing. What I think happened is that he saw one too many of those never forget bumper stickers and just internalized it too much. And now he never forgets, so he compares everything to 9/11. Everything is our 9/11. Ooh, this is our 9/11. Guess what? 9/11 was 9/11. That's it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to compare. Although I can kind of see in his case, considering what they handed to Penn State, it kind of was his 9/11.
Well, no, I disagree. I think Penn State was lucky to get off with what they did. I think the whole sports program should have been shut down. I really do. Because the problem is that when you have these huge sports programs that bring in all this money, these coaches have a lot of power, and they'll go to them and say, "Look, if you cause me too much trouble and we don't win, you're going to lose a lot of money." And of course, the school will back off. I know from personal experience that this is how it works.
Full disclosure: none of us are really sports guys. I don't think.
I'm definitely not. And where is my?
I like hockey.
Where is my Howdy Land News Bullet? Damn it! My news. Well, we'll do that next. We'll do that for the next one. Anyway.
Damn it, Beavis.
Yeah. Any thoughts? Hold on. Let me turn that down a bit. Oh, that's our liner music. There we go. Any thoughts, you two, before we go to break?
Don't rape young boys.
Yes. Important tip. Thank you. Rob, anything before we go to break?
And don't rape young girls. Let's not leave out the ladies.
Okay. Anyway, we are going to go to break. It is the Green News Report with Brad Freeman, Desi Doyen. I think we're going to try and get Desi back, Wes, because have you heard? I mean, I believe they said 40% of the corn crop in the United States is failing right now because of drought. I think we need to get Desi Doyen on to talk about that.
Yeah, definitely.
And we will come back and we're going to talk about the Republican jihad against good government, starting with the post office. We'll catch you on the flip side after this.
Reagan Akbar.
Superpowers, got any? Well, I can eat my own weight in ding-dongs. I can turn red traffic lights green just by staring at them. And I can do an oil painting with my butt.
That's enough to get you on this show.
This is Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
It's Thursday, July 26, 2012.
Very serious drought, the most serious situation we've had probably in 25 years across the country.
Drought expands in the U.S.
Increased food prices from drought act like an extreme weather food tax on every single American.
And it's going to cost you.
The Obama administration still pushing for solar energy initiatives.
Obama hoping to expand solar.
Republicans saying that land would be better used for oil, gas, and mineral drilling.
While Fox News whines.
It's the first time we've actually taken biofuels to the fleet.
The U.S. Navy's Great Green Fleet sails to success. Plus,
I'm melting! Oh, what a world! What a world!
Shocking ice melt in Greenland.
All of that melting and more straight ahead. From BradBlog.com, I'm Brad Friedman.
And I'm Desi Doyen.
Stand by for 6 minutes of independent green news, politics, analysis, and snarky comment.
Well, the Canadian economy is doing pretty well. Its new $50 and $100 bills appear to be melting. The new bills are made from a polymer that was supposed to be indestructible. Turns out if the bills can melt if left in cars on a hot summer day.
Leave it to the Canucks to print a currency that works only in ice rinks.
Oh, Canada, this is your Green News Report.
You cursed brat! Look what you've done!
Okay, Desi Doyen, folks who follow the Green News Report know that I like to keep track of how things are going back in my old hometown of St. Louis. Well, I'm here to report that on Wednesday, St. Louis broke 3 temperature records in a single day. High temperature record for the day as the high reached 107 degrees. The morning's low of 86 degrees tied the record for the warmest morning ever in St. Louis. And most disturbing, they broke the record on Wednesday for the most days hotter than 105 degrees in a single year.
Yeah, that'll make you sweat. And that heat is expanding drought across the U.S., and it's going to cost you.
78% of the corn crop is now in an area designated as drought impacted. 77% of the soybeans that are being grown in this country also impacted. It also obviously involves other commodities as well.
That was U.S. Department of Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack, who on Wednesday expanded the federal natural disaster area subject to drought. Now 31 states, 2/3 of the nation, or 61%, is in moderate to exceptional drought. Secretary Vilsack also warned the drought will increase retail food prices throughout 2013 for everything that uses corn or soy, and that includes meat and dairy due to higher feed prices. Because the U.S. is a major global corn and soybean supplier, the UN also warns those higher food prices and shortages could trigger riots and unrest in developing countries and in the Middle East. Meanwhile, Greenland is melting. NASA scientists on Tuesday announced they were shocked to see a rapid record ice melt of Greenland's ice sheet. Over a 4-day heat wave that saw Greenland hit a record high of 76 degrees, NASA satellites measured ice melt across 97% of the surface of Greenland's ice sheet.
How much more is that than a usual summer?
Twice as much as usual. Again, that's across the surface veneer of the ice sheet, not the whole ice sheet. Time and more research will tell if it's due to global warming. The record melt occurred at the same time the gargantuan iceberg from Greenland's Petermann Glacier broke off. So the research team says if we continue to see melting events like this, we should get worried. Here in the U.S., on Wednesday, the Obama administration announced new solar energy zones, 284,000 acres of public lands in 6 western states, hotspots where deployment of large utility-scale solar projects will be fast-tracked while removing fragile and sensitive areas from consideration. Although the oil and gas industry has leased 74 million acres of public lands, that 284,000 acres for solar is just too much for Fox News.
Yes, Fox News was concerned that the solar panels on top of that land would take it off the market for more drilling.
And besides, the Interior Department said these are areas that are not really suitable for oil and gas.
Don't let facts get in your way, Fox News.
Luckily, most Americans disagree with Fox News. A new poll from Republican pollster Rasmussen shows a majority of Americans believe federal investment in renewable energy sources like solar and wind is a better long-term investment for the U.S. than investing in fossil fuels.
Oh, those liberal Republicans.
Finally, despite coming under heavy fire from Republicans in Congress. The Navy says, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead on renewable fuels. The Navy's Great Green Fleet, the first of its kind carrier group that runs on a 50-50 blend of biofuels and regular oil, sailed into history last week with successful demonstration maneuvers in the Pacific.
We can make big strides toward energy independence. It shows that we can reduce the vulnerability that we currently have.
All the questions when we first heard about this was, when am I going to have to do my airplane? Is there any capability loss, etc.? And all those questions have been answered with no, everything's going to work just like it should be.
Way to go, U.S. Navy. That's the program that the Republicans in Congress have been trying to stop to force them to use fossil fuels instead of biofuels that they've been trying to use and are now using successfully. For more on those stories and all the ones we couldn't get to today, please check out our website at greennews.bradblog.com. While you're there, please consider a donation to help sponsor the Green News Report. We rely on you, not Fox News, to tell the truth over your public airwaves. From bradblog.com, I'm Brad Friedman.
And I'm Desi Doyen.
And this has been your Green News Report. Sailor.
The More Me Show with DJ Downtown and Eddie Herradura. Live from our nation's capital every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern with hilariously scathing inches from the Beltway analysis of this week's political and social developments. The More Me Show at ProgressiveBlendRadio.com and RadioOrNot.com.
It's the HowdyLand.com News Bullet with Stan Douglas. Go to HowdyLand.com and click on the Funny Time special offer to receive your free sample issue today.
Batman never carried a gun, you know. No, the Caped Crusader, the Dark Knight, as it were, didn't need such a crude instrument for fighting.
Stan.
What?
Stan, you're supposed to be reading the story on fraudulent banks.
Screw it, Steve. The public deserves to know Batman never carries. He's got crafty implements like the Batarang.
Stan, there is no Batman.
No Batman? Just what are you getting at, Steve?
That there's no Batman and you're missing an important story.
Okay, then. Batman is a made-up entertainment product who doesn't need guns and the banks are bad.
Read the closer.
This HowdyLand.com News Bullet was brought to you by the Dark Bank, holding you up without a gun since 1894. I'm Stan Douglas.
The 99 Report with Ally McNeil, covering all the issues that affect the 99% and what drives the Occupy movement. Live on Fridays from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern at blogtalkradio.com/99-report. Podcasts available on the blog, the99report.blogspot.com. And be sure to follow Ally and the 99 Report at Watergate Summer on Twitter. The 99 Report with Ally McNeil, a voice for the majority.
Look alive, wage slaves! Presenting that caliph of clowns, that mogul of Mountie Banks, the one and only
Adam Hebert. This is Mic Check Radio.
And we are back. Joining stupid dog. Joining me is co-host Wes Kerskaden, home on time. And of course, our special co-host for the evening, Rob Poole. Thank you both. Now that everyone is here, that our proverbial Avengers have assembled, as it were, we can reveal the big news. Now, I'm sure, Wes, because I know you're friends with Kenny Pick, you know the news. But let's let Kenny Pick tell us. He sent me this promo. Let's let Kenny Pick tell us in his own words what the big news is. Here we go.
Hi, this is Kenny Pick, host of Turn Up the Night with Kenny Pick, now broadcasting every Sunday on WVKO 1580 AM from 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Join me and my co-hosts, Tom, Deba, and Matt, as we analyze the news of the day and have a whole heck of a lot of fun doing it. What do you think, Mittens?
Is this a great show or what?
Again, that's Turn Up the Night with Kenny Pick every Sunday 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern at WVKO 1580 AM, Ohio's Progressive Talk.
That's right, guys! Kenny Pick has inked the deal and has made his way onto terrestrial radio. So let's oh, no, wait, that's my Drum and Stink. Hold on.
Oh, man! He's on the radio!
Yes, so... Of course, Wes, you do realize this puts us behind the power curve. We've been on the air for almost... for just over 2 months. September will be our 3rd month, and I want to get on terrestrial, so we're going to have to make some changes around here. I have a small list on my show prep, and here we go. Here's hoping improvisational comedy works. First of all, no live sex acts on the air, Wes.
Damn it!
Second.
What do you expect me to do?
Second, no more eating on the air, me. No sheer camisoles, Wes.
What? Say again?
No sheer camisoles, Wes.
Hey, just so you know, I was going to fill you in. I'm not wearing pants right now, so...
well, there goes the next item. No nudity, Wes.
It's not like my wiener's out. I got underwear on.
And
I'm
of
not
course,
pulling Anthony Weiner here.
However, we will not be FCC compliant until such time as we are picked up by an FCC station, so we can swear all the fuck we want. So
they will take my profanity from my cold dead hands.
Oh, and we've got a story that involves that too, believe you me. All right, so and just as a heads up, you two, we have a couple birthdays, one of which is my mother, and we are going to surprise her at the top of the next hour. I've got. We're gonna call her and wish her happy birthday on the air. So I'm just warning you, so you know what's gonna happen. Let's talk about the Republicans' war on good governmental entities. The Republicans have this stupid ass theory that says government can never do anything wrong. The problem is, of course,
right.
It always proves them wrong. So what do?
Defund it and hope and watch it fail because it has no money, and then say, "See,
Exactly. They rig the game. They rig it so it fails. They rig it so it fails, and they're doing that with the post office. In 2006, Wes, who was president during 2006?
2006. That was Rutherford B. Hayes, I believe.
Rob, hold on. Damn it, I wish I would have known you were going to guess wrong.
Wrong.
Rob, would you care to take a guess? Who was president during 2006?
George W. Bush.
You are correct, sir. And of course, I don't have... I need to get like a correct bell. And who was running Congress in 2006, Wes?
The Socialist Party?
Wrong.
Oh, wait, that would have been awesome.
Rob?
The Republicans.
There we go! And that is another improvised comedy sketch, ladies and gentlemen. During the Bush presidency, the Republicans rammed through a law forcing the post office to fully fund their pensions for 75 years in advance. In other words, they are funding pensions for people who haven't even been born yet and won't be born for up to 10 to 15 years.
Which makes one wonder how they would know how many people the post office would hire for the next 75 years.
At this
Apparently,
rate,
one of them can read the future.
It's Gingrich.
Gingrich, of course. Gingrich went into the future and got the results.
Gingrich and Kane, both totally future seers.
Oh, yeah. Now, that would make a great buddy cop movie.
But I mean, this is blatant sabotage because the post office isn't losing money; the money's just tied up.
Yeah, the post office has been doing. They make it sound like this post office is this totally inoperable model, but it's been doing fine until
the Republicans got their hands on it. And the thing is that the part of this law that forced them to fully fund their pensions 75 years, folks. I'll be dead and buried by the time the first round of these retirees start to retire. Just to put that in perspective.
I think all of us will, actually.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Whatever, I intend to live forever.
Or die trying.
Hey, once I get that cybernetic body, it's on.
But the bottom line is that this is sabotage. And of course, Republicans are trying to privatize. Part of this law to fund these pensions was also to say the post office can do nothing except sell stamps. They are bound by federal law to not be able to seek ways to make more money. They, for example, cannot look into the feasibility of opening an internet cafe at the local post office.
It's ridiculous, man.
Which would be, I mean, an internet cafe, that's dirt cheap to do.
Oh, yeah, and, structure it like the public library, which, hey, guess what? Those are doing fine. Well, maybe not fine because people aren't using them, but,
But the bottom line is, again, anything that works and works properly is a threat to the Republican philosophy and therefore must be destroyed.
Hey, as in the immortal words of, I believe it was Reagan's EPA secretary, hey, man, and I'm paraphrasing here, by the way, hey, man, God's going to come down and fucking rapture us anyway, so why do we give a shit about the environment?
And we're cashing that check now, aren't we? Just like Desi Doyen says. The fact of the matter is the post office is required by the Constitution. It would be theoretically illegal to privatize the post office. The Constitution says it has to be a public entity. So why? Now here's another question. Why do the Republicans want to privatize the post office that supposedly loses money? Wes!
Because they can see the future and they know that the post office is actually going to become a robot army.
Wrong!
I will give you a hint. It has to do with what the law forced them to do. Rob, your turn to guess.
Actually, I don't know.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Basically, if they succeed in forcing this unconstitutional privatization scheme, whoever gets the contracts will get the pension money. The pension money they have been forced to overpay.
Clever bastards.
Not to mention they can set the rates on shipping and stuff like that. So they can basically turn it into basically UPS.
Yep.
Yeah. But no, seriously, and again, I can't stress this enough, the Constitution clearly states the post office is to be a public entity. Therefore, this privatization scheme is unconstitutional, but we already know the courts aren't going to say that because Antonin Scalia has those special X-ray specs like the guy in They Live. I need that I've come to chew bubblegum and kick ass line in my box. But again, Antonin Scalia would just say, I don't see that part. It's not in my Constitution. Hold up, copy of Constitution that's been cut. So they're going to say...
It's interesting to note that they see the Constitution as totally amendable in this case, but in other cases, no, like the Second Amendment, no, totally ironclad, cannot be changed, period.
Well, and we were talking about that earlier, but here's the thing. Any amendment any part of the Constitution is amendable. The problem is you have to get 3/4 of the states to vote for it, and I doubt 3/4 of the states would agree on a constitutional amendment banning tossing puppies in the meat grinders, to be honest. I honestly think that if we had a constitutional referendum to ban tossing puppies and kittens into meat grinders, Republicans would, the red states, would vote against it just to piss the blue states off. I honestly believe that.
I guarantee Texas would go for it. Texas and Arizona are locked for that one. Probably Florida, too.
So, again, this is just their usual bullshit of, it works, get rid of it. It's basically a rigged game to make the post office inoperable. They have rigged the game to where there is nothing the post office can do right now to fix this problem. Because the Republicans passed these laws that make it so they can't. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Well, think about it. You know, the Republicans have always been very much trying to get rid of anything that brings public jobs in, because public jobs are one of the few things left that still have a functional union, which means they can benefit they can lobby for larger societal changes, workers' rights. You know who hates workers' rights? Rich people.
Well, yeah. And again, if Mitt Romney wins this election, you think we're going to keep all those things the unions fought and died for, you are sorely mistaken. The first thing to go will probably be the minimum wage. And if you think an employer is going to pay you more than they legally have to, you are mistaken, my friend. Then it's going to go away. Then the next thing to go away will be the 40-hour, 5-day work week.
Shit, that's practically gone already. Talk to anybody in the service industry.
Well, yeah, you cannot have a 2-bedroom apartment working a 40-hour work week anywhere in the United States.
Yep.
I mean, that is how bad it is.
Like, I have actually pretty well-paying job for what it is, and I still have to have a roommate.
I mean,
fortunately, I have a cool roommate.
I just, it's absolutely ridiculous. And again, this underscores what I've been saying for 2 months. Get your moaning and groaning out now. I understand Barack Obama isn't... Again, it's like John Fugelsang says, we ordered an FDR, you sent us a Clinton. I get it. We cannot let Mitt Romney win. If Mitt Romney wins, I guarantee you we will be at war with Iran, and America will be done for before Mitt Romney's 8 years is up. Guaranteed.
That's even saying that we get that far. I mean, honestly, the way the country is going, I mean, let's look at it this way. The Tea Party and Occupy Wall Street, they're both manifestations of voter anger. And that's not going away. And if Mitt wins, it's only going to get worse.
Oh, I definitely agree with you.
Well, I contend that it might get worse no matter what happens, because I don't think it's even really an issue of the person in the office. It's the issue of the zeitgeist in general.
Right. Congress is pretty much broken at this point.
Pretty much.
Well, but that's because it is a carefully orchestrated thing by the Republicans, who will not allow anything to go through in the Senate, and the House is under the control of the most extreme elements of the Republican Party. That's why one of my friends, Brad, I talked about him before today. Brad talks about, well, I don't vote for these extremists. I'm a libertarian. I said the problem is when you vote Republican, you're not empowering the libertarians. You're empowering the people who are in the majority of the party. In other words, the whack jobs.
Yeah, if you're a libertarian, vote libertarian. I mean, everybody says, ooh, third party. But, honestly, if one just gets 5% of the popular vote this year, 5%, then they can get national representation in the next election. And it's not going to solve everything, but people will take them seriously, and then there really might be one with a chance, and that'll give us more choice. More choice is good.
The bottom line is they won't do that. They won't vote libertarian because Republicans, if you are a conservative, you always put party before country. They would rather destroy the country and try and build over from scratch to establish their libertarian paradise, even though their libertarian paradise already exists in Somalia. they would, again, they would rather, they don't care about the country. They care about themselves. It's this Ayn Rand ideal. I've got mine. Go fuck yourself. And we have to break this out. We have to tear this disease. It's like a cancer. The patient is critical right now. If we lose this election, the patient will die. We have to tear this cancer out. No negotiation. You don't negotiate with cancer. You cut it out. You destroy it. You poison it. You do whatever it takes to get rid of it.
Although that said, I'll still take a libertarian over a neocon.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm just saying. But you're never going to get a Republican who will say that. They're always going to vote the party line.
Yeah, that's how they win. It's the lockstep thing. It appeals to right-wing authoritarianism, which is the idea that we're going to be the winners, we're going to keep the trains running on time, we're going to have shit going, and to be fair, they get shit done. It's not good shit, but they get shit done.
I'm honestly worried for the future of this country at this point. And I like I said, I'm not going to say, I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm saying, you only have two choices. Voting, if you don't vote, that's the same as voting for Mitt Romney. If you don't want Mitt Romney to win, you do not stay home this year. Anyway, we're up against the break. We're going to go to break a little early. We'll be back. And then we are going to talk about Michelle Bachmann's latest witch hunt against Huma Abedin, the wife of former Congressman Anthony Weiner. And
hooray, inept McCarthyism.
Where is my news bullet? We have one more news bullet, because I meant to play this last week. So
I'm going to hit you in the head with a news bullet.
Huh?
We're going to hit you in the head with a news bullet.
Yes. And just so everyone, just so you two know, that the guy on the news bullet, that is P.S. Mueller, regular on Turn Up the Night with Kenny Pick, and he's the voice of Doyle Redland from the Onion News. Very gifted radio person, and a gifted cartoonist as well. And he is supporting our fundraiser, and we'll be talking about that again when we come back. We'll be back in about 6 minutes. This is Adam Hebert with Wes Carskadden, co-host, special guest co-host Rob Poole, Mike Check Radio. Have a nice evening. Oh, no, not have a nice evening. We'll be back in about 6 minutes.
We do still hope you have a nice evening.
Yeah, of course.
I think we're all indebted to
Adam Hebert
for clearly stating what needed to be said. I'm particularly glad that these lovely children are here today to hear that speech. Not only was it authentic frontier gibberish, it expressed a courage little seen in this day and age.
This is Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
to. There's nowhere I'd rather be but here with you. The stars above light the way only for you and I. I'm so glad I found the love that I've been looking for. In my dreams, I'm the one you're hoping for. Love can come through an open door. Just be strong and sure to find the one.
You can expect from my show.
Also, news just recently came out about a 15-year-old girl, I think, over in the UK.
Yeah.
Who's only eating McNuggets, and this 15-year-old
get real sick.
Yeah, her tongue swelled up and she collapsed.
What's the technical medical term for eating nothing but chicken nuggets?
I think that would be suicide.
Turn Up the Night with Kenny Pick, streaming live every Tuesday and Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern at Radio or Not, Talk Radio 1, Progressive Blend Radio, and KennyPick.com.
It's the HowdyLand.com News Bulletin with Stan Douglas. Go to HowdyLand.com and click on the Funny Times special offer to receive your free sample issue today.
Warning, to avoid danger of suffocation, keep this bag away from babies and children. Do not use in cribs, beds, carriages, or playpens.
Stan?
For crying out loud, what is it this time, Steve?
Shit. You're reading the bag your sandwich came in. It's not news.
Well, it's news to me. Hell, Anderson Cooper would read this.
No, he wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
Wouldn't.
Would too.
Jesus Christ, on a pogo stick.
Pogo sticks are back, you know.
Just read.
This bag is not a toy. Discard bag and any other packing materials immediately after removing product. Do not reuse this bag. This HowdyLand.com News Bullet was sponsored by the Deadly Bag Council and babies with sandwich-sized heads. I'm Stan Douglas.
You never know who or what you'll hear when you listen to the Nicole Sandler Show at RadioOrNot.com.
Alan Grayson, you're the best. We love you. We need you back in Congress, and I'm here to do whatever I can to make that happen in my own little way.
Thanks. I enjoyed the time with you personally. I wish that the listeners could get to know you the way that I know you and understand that you're the same person off the air as you are on the air. It's not some kind of shtick. You really do care greatly about all the important things in life, and you understand that sometimes people just need a helping hand.
Yeah.
And that the world, as John Kennedy said, doesn't start out there. You have to make it that way.
The Nicole Sandler Show, live Monday through Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, or podcast anytime at RadioOrNot.com.
The body of a child, the brain of a genius, the 2000 IQ Killjoy detective.
It's Adam Hebert with Mic Check Radio.
Screw it, let's go. We'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
I have that somewhere in my box. Damn it.
I have it in my head at all times.
What the hell?
Let's show this.
What the hell? Come on.
Fucking thing sucks.
Oh, where the the hell? All the new stuff I added isn't working. What the?
I guess anything does suck.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get this out of the way. Because now, before I call my dear mother, do we want to do the Zimmerman interview or Huma Abedin? Because the Zimmerman interview, as far as I'm concerned, is still relatively fresh news, and I'm pretty sure Michelle Bachmann will continue digging herself a fine grave over this next week. So,
let her keep talking. It'll give us more material.
Rob, any thoughts?
What do you mean about which topic we want to go with?
Do you want to talk about Zimmerman or
Yeah, let's go with Zimmerman.
All right then. All right.
Yeah.
Let's wish my mother a happy birthday, and then we will talk about Mr. Zimmerman, who I will say this while we get her on. I believe that George Zimmerman. I believe the charges are too much. I believe he clearly did. I mean, it's not second-degree murder, but it is. It is, I believe, at least manslaughter, and they probably blew the case just by not giving them the option. Hello.
Hello?
Can you get
Hello?
her? Yes, hello.
Yeah, what?
Can I talk to my mother?
I'm going.
That for the benefit of my audience, that is my youngest sister, Nicole, 16 years old.
Hi, Nicole.
She sounds so enthusiastic.
Well, we're calling you live to wish you a happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
I know we're a day early, but I was like, we're gonna call my mother live. So happy 42nd birthday, Mom.
Don't you know a good Southern gentleman never ever specifies? But happy birthday.
Well,
thank you.
You are, as I said, you are live with me and my co-host Wes Karskadin and our special co-host Wes. We're not going to keep you too long, but I do want. Where is our lovely speaker John Boehner has a song for you. So here we go. This is courtesy of John Boehner.
This is your birthday song. It doesn't last too long. Hey! Hey! Your birthday song. It doesn't last too long.
And now you know what Nicole was giggling and smiling about, because I called her earlier and I said, don't tell Mom anything, just make sure she's in the house between 7:30 and 9 o'clock. So,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
She didn't spill, did she?
All right.
Well, anyway,
What?
so we just wanted to, get wish you a happy birthday. I figured it would be nice to do it live. Let's see. I'm sure someone. And one of our viewers, Revron, wishes you happy birthday as well. So you're a star, Mom. Oops, I've got the wrong thing. But anyway, so yes, have a happy birthday.
Okay.
I'll probably call you tomorrow.
Well, thank you.
You're very
All right.
welcome. Have a good night and give Aunt Rilla my best.
Okay.
And I
well,
hope you
I
enjoyed
love
your
you.
little birthday song by our speaker.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway.
Happy birthday,
nice
Mom.
Have a nice
Thank
day.
you.
Happy birthday. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, so that's done, and it's actually my friend Joseph Rodriguez's birthday. The future Dr. Rodriguez, not that kind of doctor, as in PhD in English, I believe. I'll have to ask him what his PhD is in. But happy birthday, Yossi. That birthday, it's normally called the birthday boner, but I wasn't going to tell that to my mother. So yeah. All right. Well, let's talk George Zimmerman.
That will be much less pleasant than your mother, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, we can't. We have to. It's our job, especially if we want to get to the big leagues, Wes. We have to. I want to be on terrestrial radio by next Saturday, or you are fired. Not that you're actually, you're on the payroll or anything, but.
Oh no! How will I get my awesome employee benefits? Like,
hey, you don't know if
getting
we're
people to ramble out while drunk.
You don't know if we're going to get that Soros check.
True.
I'm holding out hope. It's a running joke, Rob, that we joke and say,
I know who George Soros is.
Right. So we're always joking, we should be getting our money any time now, and we never do, of course, because there's no liberal conspiracy.
There's not? I quit.
Oh, well, damn. Anyone up for co-host? Oh, and that reminds me, before we get to Zimmerman, we will, unless something changes, this program will be off the air for August 25th. Unfortunately, I will be moving back, and Wes will be out of town for some fun.
I'll be hiking the Appalachian Trail.
That's an old chestnut. But we will be back September 1st, guaranteed. Unless, that's probably your last really big weekend, isn't it, Wes? The Labor Day weekend.
I believe so. It depends what goes on at work, but yeah, after about that time, I should be starting to be able to get back to a earlier schedule and actually get the whole show.
Woohoo! We'll have a full-time co-host. Yay!
Woo!
So let's talk Zimmerman. So he sat down for this obviously self-serving interview with let me get my Zimmerman clips, with Fox News' Sean Hannity. And I don't like Sean Hannity. The guy is an idiot, obviously. But let's take a listen to this first clip, because I need to find a better system of labeling my clips other than 1, 2.
Has passed since this incident with Trayvon. How do you feel about it now that you've had some time to reflect on what has happened?
I haven't really had the time to reflect on it. When I was in jail, obviously I was in solitary confinement, and I had a lot of time to think and reflect. I just think it's a tragic situation, and I hope it's the most difficult thing I'll ever go through in my life, but...
It's so creepy.
So, notice... Okay, first of all, again, this idea of the concert of this... And don't get me wrong, I know for a fact this guy is a teabagger. Okay, again, he's the victim. No mention of the guy he shot in the back! And I believe the autopsy has proven Trayvon Martin was shot in the back. No, and he hasn't reflected. He hasn't thought, "Oh my God, I killed an innocent kid," because
I know people harp on this, but an innocent black kid, it is an important distinction to some people.
Okay, and in this, I don't see race when it comes to children. The fact of the matter is, Trayvon Martin was an innocent child who was shot in the back.
Well, yes, my point isn't that you might see it. My point is that he might see it.
Well, we already know he does. Remember, he was caught on tape saying, and I apologize if anyone is offended, I'm going to quote it. He said fucking coons. And as we all know, if you live down south, you know coons is a racial slur for black people, only slightly less offensive than the N-word. The fact, and of course, his hand, he was saying punks. No,
yeah, those two words sound nothing alike.
Yeah. It's, what he
Which
said
is really mind-blowing that he'd pick punks when he could say, I was saying kids, or, something like that.
Kids wouldn't work. He said oons. It was a ooh sound. Spoons might have worked.
Fucking spoons.
Yeah.
I only eat sports.
So, again, no remorse, no reflection. He thinks he hasn't done anything wrong, even though he gunned down a 17-year-old boy. Here is cut 2 from the Hannity interview. Take a listen.
Is there anything you regret? Do you regret getting out of the car to follow Trayvon that night?
No, sir.
Do you regret that you had a gun that night?
No, sir.
Do you feel you wouldn't be here for this interview if you didn't have a gun?
No, sir.
You feel you would not be here?
I feel that it was all God's plan, and for me to second guess it or judge it.
Is there anything you might do differently in retrospect, how the time has passed a little bit?
No, sir.
It was God's plan To shoot a
God
kid in the
put
back?
those dangerous-looking Skittles in Trayvon's pocket. His hand personally reached down. When I'm going to make these Skittles look like a gun. Fuck this kid.
I mean...
You stupid, ignorant son of a bitch, dumb bastard! Jesus Christ, I've met some dumb bastards in my time, but you outdo them all.
God bless Gene Wilder. Tremendously gifted man. I mean, the guy has no remorse. This man is a sociopath. I will guarantee it. I will bet if it ever comes out why he was... Because remember, he wanted to be a cop. The police department turned him down for some reason. I will bet serious money there were some psychological issues. I guarantee it.
You see, I mean, whenever you see a case like this, of course, this is the most public one, but don't think that people aren't getting shot every day. And in most cases like this, it's one of these fucking NRA fucking machismo, I wish I'm going to have my gun everywhere, fucking people who just get a giant fucking throbbing stiffy at the idea of shooting somebody.
You mean like Dick Cheney?
Yes, perfect example, in fact.
Well played. So here's cut 3. Rob, do you want to chime in, or are you just intently listening?
I'm intently listening.
All right, so here is cut 3 of the Hannity, or as I call him, Insanity interview with George Zimmerman.
You face second-degree murder charges, a possible life sentence. Do you think about that?
Yes, sir. Every day.
What do you think about regarding that? Do you feel, in the end, justice that people will believe you and that people will understand?
Do it live! Do it live!
Or are you that confident that you had a right to do this?
It's a
defend yourself.
Yes, sir. It's a finite situation I've been placed in where I am confident in the system. I really have no choice but to believe still in the system.
So again, common theme. He is the victim. The problem is not with him. It is with Trayvon. No remorse. I mean, like I said, this guy, I'm telling you, he's a sociopath.
I mean, just listen to his voices in that whole interview. It's just unsettling. Just the very calm, quiet.
We have some clips from CNN from a body language expert to cover that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
That was cut 3. Here is cut 4 of the Zimmerman interview. This one's a little short, but it's about 20 seconds long.
But you didn't know it in the beginning. Did you look over at him at any time and realize he was in really bad shape?
No, sir.
At no point. And how long was it between the time you shot him to the time the police actually got to the scene?
It felt like forever. I'd say 15 to 30 seconds.
Okay, he just shot this kid. He's down. He's not a threat. He doesn't check on him. He doesn't try to stop the fucking bleeding. I'm telling you, something is wrong with this man mentally. Something is wrong with him.
Well, yes, he shot someone. I mean, I'm understand again. I'm a big proponent of in the extreme situation self-defense, only in defense of someone's life or your own life. But this guy just shot the kid over looking like he might steal something. That's inherently fucked up.
And I want to say this. I don't care if Zimmerman got his ass kicked. If I were being stalked by a fat Hispanic guy, I would probably kick his ass too. But first of all, I think that's a lie. I think those videos, because notice, the first videos we get, he's clean, right?
Yep.
And then all of a sudden we get the enhanced videos, and it's as clear as daylight. He has these gashes on his head. I think these enhanced videos were enhanced to make him look less guilty. The bottom line is, he just shot a kid in the back. He doesn't check him to, again, he's down for the count. Maybe he's not dead yet. Unless you're, like I said, unless you're a sociopath, you're at least going to say, check for a pulse. Something. Here is, go ahead, Wes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the autopsy report right now, actually, and what it says on here is that the gunpowder patterns suggest that he fired inches away, like he was putting the gun to him. So that implies he didn't just shoot the dude; he fucking executed him.
Well, who knows? Again, I don't think, as I said earlier, I don't think he is guilty of second-degree murder. Second-degree murder means you see someone, you just say, I'm going to kill you, and you do it.
I think that sounds like exactly what he did.
Well, the fact of the matter is, his obvious racial prejudices aside, he did not see him and set out to kill him. He thought he was a thief or something, and I think it escalated. The thing is that the process. I can tell you this: Zimmerman will get off because the jury is not going to want to find him guilty of second-degree murder, and they're going to say, if only we had the option for lesser charges. That's exactly what's going to happen, and I think the police and the prosecutors rigged it to happen because they don't want to go after this guy. They were dragged into this prosecution kicking and screaming.
I don't know. I still think second-degree murder is completely appropriate to the situation based upon the evidence that I have seen. It looks like he definitely, if he didn't bring his gun out with the intent to kill, then why did he?
Well, I mean, yeah, you don't point your gun at anything you don't intend to destroy. Here is cut 5 from the Zimmerman interview.
What do you make of all the national media attention in this case? There are crimes that happen every day. The nation is focused on your case. Why do you think that is, and what do you make of it? And what does it mean to you?
It's surreal. I don't like that they've brushed to judgment the way they have. I feel that anytime they have a story that's remotely positive, they interpret it negatively.
Whoa. Sorry about that.
Oh, look, it was a sad little guitar song playing for George Zimmerman. Wah.
Again, he is the victim, not the kid he shot and killed. It's poor George. Oh my goodness, he is the victim. No remorse for what he's done. I'm telling you right now, he is going to get off, but this guy is a danger to society. From what I see, he is a sociopath. No remorse, no guilt for what he did, just straight up, I should get off because I'm special.
In all fairness, I think George Zimmerman already did get off right after he shot Trayvon Martin.
But and I want to point this out. Now, suppose Sean Hannity supposedly offered to pay for George Zimmerman's legal expenses. Now, Sean Hannity swears up and down this isn't the truth. And there's one simple way George Zimmerman can clear this up, and that is to tell us who S.H. was that he kept mentioning to his brother.
It could be,
well, remember there's ingenious code about the money. Like $7 meant 70,000. $70 meant 70,000.
Obviously, these guys have never bought drugs.
Again, the thing is he it wasn't me, was it? No, sir. Well, prove it. Who was... That's what Sean Hannity should have done. Why didn't he ask that question? You ask, okay, who's S.H.?
What was it, Sam Harris?
Tell me who S.H. is.
Man, there are surprisingly few celebrity names I can pull out that have the initials S.H. now. Dang.
So, I want, again, no remorse. He's the victim. And it's disgusting. It really is. And
it's the theme you always see. I mean, nobody, to their own eyes, everybody's always the victim. Oh, poor me. I was forced to shoot someone in cold blood and then get actually charged for it. Oh, no.
Rob, do you have any thoughts?
Main thing I would be concerned about is the backlash that if he does get off. I mean, obviously the three of us are white guys. Blacks take this a totally different way. I mean, obviously, it's kind of strange that the media is focusing on Trayvon, but there are hundreds of Trayvons. This isn't exclusive. This isn't a one-time deal. This happens all the time, where a black kid gets shot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So, what I would be concerned about is having the OJ effect, where after he gets off, what happens next?
Yeah. I mean, I just for a little perspective, where I work, there are a huge proportion of the staff tends to be people who live in low income neighborhoods who are of African descent, and the stories that you hear just from those neighborhoods are mind blowing to a middle class white kid from the suburbs. It's people just casually discuss, oh yeah, I was out there at this big festival and there were some gunshots that went off and we ran. It's like, that's mind blowing to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're almost at the break, so we're going to have to make Asshole of the Week really quick. So let me cue up the jingle. And of course, this is Rob's first time hearing this. So here we go. Asshole of the Week.
Who is he? He's an asshole, sir. I know that. What's his name? Asshole. Major asshole. I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes. Were you born an asshole?
Asshole?
Or did you work it your whole life? Either way, it worked out fine. 'Cause you're an asshole tonight. How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Oh, God damn it, I did it again. All right, we're just going to cancel that. We're not going to play. We're not going to have a liner to play us out. All right, this week's Asshole of the Week is someone. I mean, again, 90% of these people are well-established assholes. We only pick them when they do something especially assholish. This week is no exception. This week's Asshole of the Week is former Arizona State Senator Russell Pierce, Republican of Arizona. Some emails, 10,000 pages of emails were released to the public. Now, just so everyone remembers and we're all on the same page, Russell Pierce is the man who authored the infamous Papers, Please law in Arizona that was recently vacated by largely vacated by the Supreme Court. So here's some of what these emails said. Last week, Denver's illegal aliens sang our national anthem in Spanish and bastardized the words of our, capitals, country's most sacred song. Alright, that's not particularly asshole-ish. He's still being a jerk, but...
That's a pretty big asshole, but go on.
They create enclaves of separate groups that shall balkanize our nation into fractured nightmares of social unrest and poverty. They, of course, being Mexicans.
Yes,
yeah,
because
it's not like they're not already doing that already.
Yeah, because, it's not like the Republicans are doing a fantastic job of breaking us apart with the extremism.
All right.
And it's not exactly like you find very many urban Republicans also.
Here from the email with the subject line, "What's a racist?" Here's some choice quotes. I'm racist because I don't want to be taxed to pay for prison population comprised of mainly Hispanics, Latinos, Mexicans, or whatever you wish to call them. I'm a racist because I object to having to pay higher sales tax and property tax to build more schools for the illegitimate children of illegal aliens. Alright, first of all, fucko, just because they are children of immigrants who are here illegally doesn't make them bastards.
Yeah, really, they shouldn't have decided to be born to those particular parents.
Like they had a choice.
The fact of the matter is, and again, if you don't educate them, they're gonna become a drag on society, you stupid jackass. Here's the money shot. This is why he ended up in my nomination box. Factual is not racial. Realism is not racism. The new definition of racist is anyone winning an argument with a liberal, minority, pacifist, Bible banger, or moron. Well, I guess I'm a racist because I'm winning an argument with a fucking moron.
You racist. You sir, are racist against morons.
And a communist.
I'll confess to the communist part. Dear God! All right. We need like a set clip. A set clip from my. Oh well, first of all, obviously. But we need like a set. Let me see.
So tell me, what's it like living in a constant haze of stupidity?
We are running long for the break. It is. We're coming up on the last segment of the show. It's always a doozy. But again, Russell Pierce, you are our asshole of the week, and you will be receiving a special letter. We'll tell our audience. We'll read the new letter to our audience after the show, Wes. Unless you think it has to be done now.
No, that's cool.
And a certificate recognizing. And we're going to be doing a special at the end of this year where one of our assholes of the week will be crowned shithead of the year.
I will be working on constructing the nice brown crown right now.
Actually, I have a model for the trophy, but that'll work too. Anyway, we are going to go to break. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about Sally Ride and the Muppets. And actually, these two stories go pretty well together, considering the Chick-fil-A pluck-up. So here we go. Off the break. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Do they have Mic Check Radio in the spirit world? As a matter of fact, they do not. This is Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
A World of Progress Radio is thinking about progressive as not right or left, wrong or right, political or social, but simply a heartfelt commitment to finding solutions that are win-win for us all. AWOP Radio's mission is to bring you the voices of ordinary people who are creating, documenting, and living extraordinary positive change. Catch the show live Fridays at 10 p.m. Eastern at awopradio.com, iTunes, or subscribe to the podcast via your favorite podcatcher. Listen on demand at Stitcher Radio, or pick up the AWOP Radio Android app for your smartphone at the Amazon App Store. A better world for all is possible. Join AWOP Radio host Kim G every week for interviews with people just like you, creating real positive change for the good of all.
Hi, friends. This is Tom Hartman.
This is Stephanie Miller.
Hey, this is Hal Sparks. I'm Brad Friedman. I approve of Nicole Sandler's RadioOrNot.com. Radio or Not.
Radio or Not.
RadioOrNot.com.
RadioOrNot.com.
RadioOrNot.com. RadioOrNot.com.
Gorgeous dinner, hot springs, table tennis, yukata, geisha, Fujiyama. Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert. Oh, witness!
I couldn't resist that. Okay, and everyone, dog. There we go. This is the final segment of this week's show, and there's of course, I'm sure everyone knows why. Damn it, we did not do. We'll have to do the Bill Nye story on this segment too. So we're gonna do 3 stories. First of all, the Muppets have gone and told Chick-fil-A to go cluck yourself. Because the owner is a tremendous douchebag.
Which is okay, because the Muppet toys were obviously really unsafe. Like, you might get your finger stuck in a puppet.
Actually, that was a lie.
Was the point of the puppet?
You're joking. No.
Yes, I'm being facetious.
And I do have a picture of that. I had a picture of that in my show prep. Wes, before we finish up, is that you in chat, Wes31?
No, that is not me, actually. I don't know who that is.
Okay, well then I'm going to do I thought that was you. So let's do I'll do shout-outs real quick. We have 3 viewers and 1 guest. Our viewers are Revron52, hi Rev, Victor Rocco, hi Vic, and Wes with 2 S's, 3-1. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Again, I'm Adam Hebert. Co-host is Wes Karskanen, and my chair will not work properly. God damn it!
Oh.
And of course, our special co-host for the evening. And thank you again, Rob. I really do appreciate you being here, especially since Nicole Bell suddenly canceled. I would have been in a bind if you couldn't have done it. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So let's talk about the cluster pluck, as it were.
Good lord! The
wait,
chicken
that's
puns
Wes
keep
Smith.
coming.
I know who that is.
Oh.
That's Wes Smith. The
Yeah,
second
that
S
guy's
must
cool.
be. I think is. Are you Wes Smith?
No.
No, not you. Him.
I get asked that a lot, though.
That guy is cool. I think that's him. We lost Victor Rocco, but that's cool. So, all right. The Jim Henson Company severed their relationship with Chick-fil-A, and I don't know how long this relationship was, but the Jim Henson Company has always espoused ideas that are more affiliated with acceptance and love, and
I mean, a frog screwing a pig for years. What do you want?
Yeah,
How much more out there can you get?
Yeah, I mean, and I just want to say, if you're up there, if there is a heaven, Jim Henson, where is my... you raised your daughter well, so we're going to give you a posthumous applause. But again, this is great. And this isn't the first time the Muppets have gotten a little political. We're going to revisit that moment. I'm glad this happened, and of course, the right wing is freaking out. They're attacking the Muppets, and they did this last year with the Muppet movie because the villain was named Tex Richmond. This is all sound and fury signifying nothing.
Congratulations, you described the entire Republican platform.
It's pretty much. But so I don't know if you guys remember the whole the whole flap up over when the Muppet movie came out, the new Muppet movie, way back.
Like last year.
Yeah. So the Muppets were interviewed, and here is the interview from that. And we are going to be going a bit fast because I really want to touch on the Bill Nye. Well, no, I think the Bill Nye story can keep. I think that's fresh enough, Wes. If we can't get to it, we can't get. Okay, so here's the Muppets news.
Question for Kermit. Everybody who's seen the film loves it. It's suitable for kids. It's suitable for parents.
Great.
But I've got to ask you how you felt when, I think it was Eric Bolling from Fox News said it was pushing a dangerous liberal agenda and trying to brainwash children.
Yes.
It's horrible.
It's so dangerous. It's so afraid. No, it's a funny thing. They were concerned about us having some prejudice against oil companies, and I can tell you that's categorically not true. And besides, if we had a problem with oil companies, why would we have spent the entire film driving around in a gas-guzzling Rolls Royce?
It's almost as laughable as accusing Fox News as, being news.
Boy, that's going to be all over the internet.
Yeah, if they take what I say seriously, they got a real big problem.
Wow.
And I'm sure Ms. Piggy has something to say to Chick-fil-A, which is...
that and also probably, I'm glad they don't serve pork.
Yes. I kind of doubled up on the Muppets clips just because I was like, let's celebrate. Me. But good on you, Jim Henson Company. I'm deciding to take a stand for decency and morality. Thank you for your brave stand.
And if you do miss the Chick-fil-A chicken, which I will grant is fucking good, then just Google the recipe for it. It's out there. You can get your fix and not put your money towards these fuckers.
And of course, the right wing is, they can't stand the idea that people might make choices they don't like. So they're planning to, as a hysterical, and I use the term sarcastically, fuck you, a Chick-fil-A Appreciation Day spearheaded by Mike Huckabee. And it's going to be a failure. It's going to be a failure, and we need to put the hurt on these people. And of course, I had Armin accusing me of being a fascist the other day because I said, you know what? I have the right to choose through freedom of association who I give my business to. Who the fuck are you to say I'm a fascist?
Wait, yeah, how are they... Okay, these are the same people who spout the free market thing, The companies that fit within society's ideals should be getting people's business because, they'll choose to do business. That's how the fucking market works.
Yes. Again, I'm not saying that Chick-fil-A... I'm not advocating government intervention.
No, they didn't break any laws.
I'm saying that... Look, if Chick-fil-A has to fold because they're not getting business, sucks to be you, buddy. Sorry. You want to go and buy out all their chicken? Fine. All you're proving is stuff I've been saying for years, which is you are an asshole.
Yeah, that about sums it up.
Yep.
And of course, sorry. Go on, Rob.
It's exactly like what I said, we have the freedom to choose where we want to buy food from. And this is obviously, if you take a stance like this and you're going against the momentum of the populace, well, it sucks to be you.
Yeah, and
it's a poor business decision, if nothing else.
And let's be
yes.
clear, 70%.
I mean, considering, the momentum that's, gathering, with gay rights, they're just taking a stance against gay rights right now is like suicide.
Yeah, and let's be clear, 70% of Americans are in favor of marriage equality now. 70%. The conservatives are fighting a losing game, and they know it. And of course, when the final domino falls, they're going to be all...
Well, it's the same stance as when, we were going through the whole thing with cigarettes, secondhand smoke. It was a constant smokescreen of, bullshit. And we're going through the same thing now also with, climate change.
Yep.
They can't take a loss.
Right, and we're going to...
if they can't win straight, they have to cheat.
Yeah, because one loss proves that God is not on their side. And that shatters the whole illusion.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like I said, the fact of the matter is that it's about power. They want to preserve power. And they realize that if gay marriage happens and people are like, well, they said fire and brimstone raining from the heavens, nothing bad has happened, everything seems to be okay, then people are going to start questioning other parts of the church doctrine. And that's why you see the Catholic Church doing everything they can, because they're afraid that if the Catholics start thinking for themselves and say, wait a minute, why am I following a fucking Nazi Pope?
Yeah, how dare those nuns actually help people rather than spread their authoritarianism? That's outside the church's purview. They're there to spread dogma, not fucking feed people.
Fuck yeah!
Heaven forbid they,
you're on a roll
act
with
like Jesus.
Yeah, well, and again, again, good on you Muppets, and again, Jim Henson, your kid's all right. Your kid's all right. And I mentioned this at the beginning of the show, but we need to mention this because we're almost out of time. This week, Dr. Sally Ride, the first U.S. woman in space, passed away of pancreatic cancer after a 17-month battle. And, I mean, pancreatic cancer is hard to beat. It was probably over by the time they found it. It was just a matter of time at that point. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But the real story here is she was gay. And she told her family, let the world know when I die. And of course, you got the LGBT movement saying, how could she do this? How could she not come out? And there's a very simple reason for that. Until 1996, you could not get security clearance with the government if you were gay.
Yeah, I mean, it's people. I understand the frustration, but at the same time, you have to look at historically. It's been very hard to take a stand. And people who have a lot to lose, like one of the first, or is she the first? Yeah, the first female astronaut. She'd have so much to lose by coming out with it. I can understand the fear.
Yes.
Well, I wish she'd been able to.
But again, if she had come out, she would have never done all these accomplishments, which is why it's so fucking insulting when you got Sarah Palin on Twitter talking about how great an American she was. Fuck you, Sarah Palin. Fuck you.
She and her fucking stable, lifelong partner of 27 years, they're destroying marriage. Because how many straight couples last 27 years? Give you a hint. 50%.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Well, taking the total divorce rate, I figure by 27 years, you're probably not. I mean, it might happen, but it's less likely.
Yeah, by that point, you're pretty much stuck with the person anyway, so it's like, fuck it.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm just saying that it's insulting when Mitt Romney comes out and talks about how great American she was, when Mitt Romney's policies would have kept her from doing the things he's praising her for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally ridiculous.
I mean,
go on.
Oh no, it was a hiccup. It's just, it's ridiculous, and conservatives, fuck you. You have no right to claim her legacy, so stop trying.
Yeah, they should be fucking out there saying, well, she liked women, therefore her accomplishments are nothing, because it's a horrible thing to say, but let's be honest, it's really what that they're trying to say. It's really what they think back there in, lesbians are evil land.
Yeah, but it is definitely a tragedy, and again, I suspect that by the time she found out, it was just a matter of time, and it's sad, but again, I'm tired of these conservatives. Every time someone dies, they try and claim them as their own, when their policies would have done something to prevent the great things they accomplished.
Which, by the way, will be even more so if we have a Romney presidency, because then he can just be like, "Oh, she was a great American. Oh, by the way, also a Mormon now. Just so you know."
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that next week because
that'll be a good one.
We're going to be talking about Mitt Romney and Israel. And you know what? I got to challenge the chat. I want you guys over this week to send in either by Twitter or email, and we have our information on the end card. I want you to tell me how you think Mitt Romney is going to offend Israel. So, I mean, like, is he going to say, "This Wailing Wall is not the right height, my friend. Woof woof." So, stuff like that. Stupid stuff like that. And he's going to do something like that. We're going to talk about his trip to London. The guy's a total
Who let the
asshole.
suicide bombers out? Woof, woof,
Yeah.
woof.
We're going to talk about that. I just figured his world tour isn't over yet, and I didn't want to boot a story from this week to make way for it, because next week, as far as I know, is an open slate. We're coming towards the top of the hour, and of course, I forgot my fucking plug sheet again. God damn.
Dude,
it's okay.
You just duct tape it to your computer.
I can do this. I got this. God damn it. Of course, first of all, remember, we are not affiliated with Radio Not. We just promote their programs, and we are supported by their programs. So we're going to do them first. Monday through Thursday, 10 to noon Eastern, is the Nicole Sandler Show in the Radio or Not channel on Ustream. Monday evenings, 7 to 9 Eastern, is Filter Free Radio with Jacob Dean and Skeptical Scott. This is their first anniversary. They have been on the air for a year, so this is a big show. Wednesdays, Talking Left is back, and they are broadcasting outside of Tom Hartman's studios in Washington, D.C., so they've got a really swanky setup. Cool. Thursdays, now Shannon Files is not affiliated with Radio or Not. Thursdays, 9 to 10 Eastern. 10 to 11 Eastern. And of course, my big brother, Radio Senpai, all around nice guy, wise Yoda like mentor, Kenny Pick. Tuesdays and Fridays, and now Sundays on WVKO 1580 in Columbus, Ohio. Kenny Pick. Turn up the night. We're gonna try and get Kenny Pick on here next week, because first of all, he is always an awesome guest, always.
Oh, love the guy.
And second of all, we're gonna have us a party. And I believe there is a listening party for the first rebroadcast of Turn Up the Night with Kenny Pick on terrestrial radio tomorrow night, 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Details to come, so watch our Twitter feed, or watch our Facebook feed. I think that's everything, isn't it?
I don't know, dude. I totally tune those out every week, I gotta be honest.
Oh.
I'm way too hammered by that point. I'm kidding.
Maybe I should make you do it one week. Here's the list.
Oh, good Lord.
Go! Or you're fired!
Okay, there's some other shows and some other stations. They're cool. listen to Kenny Pick because that guy's awesome.
Yes, Kenny Pick is awesome. Well, we have a little bit of time before we do our parting shot. So, who wants to hear some Mike and Rocky Mountain Mike funny?
Sure.
All right, I've been
not?
sitting on. This will be a nice, a nice cherry on our Sunday. So, Mike and Raleigh, Rob, does these comedy bits for the Stephanie Miller Show, and he previously did a get in here, dog. Sorry about that. He about a year ago he did a public announcement, a public service announcement for the disease known as Obama derangement syndrome, and now there's a PAC to fund it. Take a listen.
Left-wing Nazi. In 2011, we told you about Skeeter.
He's gonna take our guns away.
Afflicted with Obama derangement syndrome.
Socialist.
People like Skeeter have little or no connection to reality.
He hates small business.
In 2012,
Class warfare.
despite many breakthroughs, Skeeter's condition has worsened.
He's part of the gay agenda.
The good news is,
Stalin.
you can help.
He's all uppity.
We're proud to announce the formation of Skeeter PAC,
Born in Kenya.
a political action committee dedicated to countering the effects of Obama derangement syndrome.
All he does is golf.
For those who need it the most.
Takes vacation.
With your donation, we can put people with ODS in special rooms with newspapers, books, and other fact-based information,
I like the pictures.
which can be read by, or in the case of Skeeter, read to Obama derangement syndrome sufferers.
He's not Anglo-Saxon.
Won't you help?
I need more ammo.
Skeeter didn't build his condition by himself.
Roads and bridges are communist.
And Obama derangement syndrome won't end without your
Rachel
help.
Maddow was a guy.
Please give today
Hitler.
to Skeeter PAC, paid for by Friends of Skeeter.
Yeah, I
Bravo.
especially like that part where the Rachel Maddow is a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
bravo, Rocky. I keep wanting to call him Mike and Raleigh. He is no longer Mike and Raleigh, but bravo, Rocky Mountain Mike. Another brilliant comedy bit. So, stop.
Whoa.
Sorry about that.
I think the acid just kicked in.
Yeah, Mike and Raleigh. I told Mike that as soon as he has a Saturday evening off, he needs to come on the program. I said I will not take no for an answer. So he said, yeah, after shooting season ends, and he means photo shooting season. So once it starts getting darker earlier, we'll be able to get him on.
Right.
All right, we got 3 minutes left, so I say it's time to do some parting shots. And Wes, I say we give Rob the floor first, unless you object.
Go right ahead, my friends.
Rob, give us your parting shot, whatever's on your mind.
So basically, I just talk about whatever I want.
Yeah, just say something.
Whatever. It's your parting shot.
All right. So, when are we going to get to the LIBOR scandal? Because obviously, the media certainly isn't going to touch it, and obviously, it's not something that we've talked about tonight. But it's still a big issue that we need to deal with. Honestly, I think I can speak for most of America by saying, I'm the middle to lower class white guy, and it's obviously if you look at it, for the most part, it looks like a boring scandal that touches nobody. But in actuality, if you look deeper, it's a big deal.
Right.
And it's scary that we're not really doing anything about it. I honestly predict that if they cannot get a banker in jail over this, our country isn't going to last very much longer.
All right. Well, we're going to try and get to it. I'm just waiting to find a guest who actually understands it. Wes, your parting shot, please.
My last thought here as I come is I'm going to really miss it when you move back to college and you don't have to talk to your dog, because every time I hear you say that, I imagine you as like Ice Cube from Friday. You're like, man, get out of here, dog, and it makes me laugh.
Okay, well, at least, hey, anyway, my parting shot, if you're in LA, I hope you're at Sexy Liberal. In the great words of Hal Sparks, take care of yourself, take care of someone else. We have got to go, so here we go. Ending theme, go. Ludicrous Speed, go. Come on. There we